Hello again, everybody. Welcome to Touching Greatness. I'm Ted Sobel, your host, and we have John Salley, the four-time NBA champ who's driving down the 405 like he's heading into nowhere. And hey, John, thanks for joining us. It was really fun to bump into you at the car wash of all places. That you talk about old school. That brings me. Remember the old movie and the great songs from Car Wash? First thing I thought, I said, "What the hell are you doing here?"
Yeah, man. I got I'm still one of those guys that I used to wash my own car when I was young and my daughters were young.
Right.
And we could play in the water. But, we have a drought here in California still. I still believe it. So, no, I just like those guys. They take care of it. I get a second to sit still. It's wonderful. Good seeing you, though.
Hey, same here. And, it was a long time since I last saw you out in the locker room at Lakers land in the last year of your career. We want to get into a lot of this stuff. I got to ask you, how the hell did you go from being out of the game for as long as you were to all of a sudden getting a call from Phil Jackson? Or did you call him? I mean, what was the story there that you became a Laker, and what an unbelievable first and last year for you there, right?
Yeah, it was me always staying in shape. That's the first thing.
Got it.
That's what I tell professional athletes. Your job is to stay in shape.
Right.
Basketball comes secondary. But I was watching the Lakers lose in 1999 with that great team.
Yep.
And it was a short season. And somehow I just had the right spirit to call Phil. And I said, "Hey, Philly, what's up, man?" And he was like, "Oh," I said, "Where are you?" He said, "Montana." And I go, "You watching this Laker team?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "You're not going to let those two guys not win a championship, are you?" And he goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "Man, if they had the triangle offense, that team is unbelievable."
Right.
He said, "Who have you been talking to, Sal?" I said, "Well, I don't really talk to anybody. I'm surprised I'm even calling you." And he had just told me, he said, "I just took the job with the Lakers." I said, "What?" I said, "Oh, brother, you got to get me on the team. I live 5 doors from Shaq, and I can explain the offense entirely different than you guys, but for the modern era." And he told me to go down to UCLA, see Jerry West. He was watching guys play.
Right.
And I showed up and did what I do. And I was in training camp. But he made me go against Benoit Benjamin, which I didn't think was fair because, I had already won 3 championships and already had the offense and was in a different body shape. But hey, I took it as a challenge and I went right ahead and moved into the spot. It took me, Phil said, "You don't have your jumper's legs," what he thought. And then the last game I played, believe it or not, was 24 years ago last week. It was on my birthday, May 16th.
Right.
And I got like 12 points and 9 rebounds or something like that. He really didn't play me during the playoffs. He played me a little bit against, I think it was Portland.
Okay.
But yeah, that was, I tell you right now, Ted, the idea of jumping and coming down.
Yes.
And I watch it now and I go, man, if we had the same rules 24 years ago, I would average 25. If you can't touch the guy going to the basket, you can't really bang anybody.
Right.
So the style of basketball I was raised playing, they don't play anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And I wanted to get into that too. But first of all, a belated happy 60th birthday, sir.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you.
Absolutely. Is it feel any different? Because I got you beat by a decade, and I'm still hanging in there. So I don't know what to say.
It just looks different. It feels different.
Okay.
It definitely sounds different, man. When somebody
doesn't it? I think it sounds more different than it really is, because you're no different the day you become 60 than the day before. So it doesn't mean a damn thing.
Well,
it's a number.
I hear in 2 years I can start getting my check back. from
Oh, that's good.
Social Security. So
Exactly. That's the best thing. Yeah, I don't even remember when that started happening. A proud Brooklynite, by the way. That's where my dad grew up as well.
Oh,
So I have an affinity for that. And my buddy Paul Olden, who's the New York Yankees public address announcer, lives there during the season. So there's a lot of Brooklyn in my life. But how do you go from a 4-time NBA champion to an actor? How the hell did you end up in L.A. During because for some sometimes that doesn't work out that way, as you know.
this is what I realized. I realized that anything you want in this life, you just have to get it. So after I did Bad Boys 3 and we shot it in 1992, in 1993
Bad Boys,
it
the
came
first
out.
Bad Boys, you mean?
Bad Boys 1, yeah. And then
right.
Yeah. And so now Bad Boys 4 is coming out June 7th, and I happen to be in that one as well. But I always wanted to be an actor. I love movies.
Really?
I saw Kareem do it. I saw the Hammer do it.
An Airplane.
Yeah. So I was like, I can do this.
Oh, great.
And they allowed me to do so. So I came out here. My wife thought I was crazy not wanting to play basketball anymore, and I was on TV hosting NBA halftime on NBC with Hannah Storm and Pete Vesey.
Right.
And then I was living in Los Angeles, so I'm saying, hey, this is what I want to do. So
that's awesome.
I'm going to come out here. I had a great acting coach, Ivana Chubik.
Nice.
And I would go to class on Wednesdays. I have my daughter Taya doing privates now with my friend Tico Wells, great acting coach. And I took it serious, as serious as I take basketball. So, when you have that mentality, when you take something and you put everything into it, it'll come out for you.
Okay, I want everybody to know the most impressive thing about you is your Instagram page, because on your title, sir, you talk about just briefly 4-time NBA champ John Salley, but after that you say father of the century. That's the greatest thing I love about you. I mean, hey, Dad, what makes you the father of the century?
I'm the cool dad.
And by the way,
brother.
your head's getting cut off there a little bit in the picture. So
I'm the cool dad. I'm the cool dad.
All right.
I remember, which I have to tell my wife.
Okay.
I remember being a teenager. So I know how hard it was when my voice changed, when I started growing hair, when my hormones were going through the roof.
Yes.
I
vaguely remember.
I just remember how hard it was when your body is changing and everything is changing. So I'm one of those. My daughters would talk to me. If they got in trouble, they would say, call my dad. Don't call my mom.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah. So I took it on like, hey, life is about experiences, and you're about to have a bunch of them.
Right.
So I did not put him in a position to make him feel bad about everything that was going to happen in life.
Right. And you learned from your experience too, as opposed to some people don't. They just they repeat the stupid crap.
Yeah. Well, and that's the one thing when somebody goes, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. I go, he's a teenager.
Yep.
You remember when Justin Bieber was going through his thing, people were like, oh my God, he was such a nice little boy. But now he's a teenager. And that's what happens.
Yeah. It also happens in pro sports. And I think a lot of people don't think about that. Guys get drafted now even younger, and they're not ready to be professional at anything. Forget professional basketball. And I don't think they have great role models like they used to when you were coming into the game to teach them how to be a pro. Your thoughts on that, sir?
I have great veterans. Adrian Dantley.
Yep.
Rick Mahorn, Sid Green, Bill Laimbeer, Isaiah Thomas, Vinnie Johnson, as opposed to just being like this stupid rookie. They would say, Rook, listen, when this happens, this. Hey, calm it down. Move this way. Good play, Rook.
way to play. That's why we want you to play. Like those
Right.
kind of things. And they were cool with me playing. I know guys didn't want me taking any of their minutes,
Right.
but it was for the benefit. Oh yeah, and I left Mark Aguirre out. How could I ever?
Right.
And they knew it was about winning, and what I could do would help them win, help us win.
Right.
So you had guys who understood in the team concept. The difference now is, they give these guys, they put them in the lead, and they go, if you can make it for 4 years, you'll figure it out. And that's why teams don't get to the point. Like I played on one team, a great team for 36 minutes, but not 48.
Oh,
and you got to play all 48 minutes.
Right.
And I said that, kind of ticked off the coach at the time.
Right.
But I was correct. Like you got to play 48 minutes. We saw that the other day with Denver versus the Timberwolves. They're up 20. They start coming back to end of the third. They get close. They're making a run. And these guys didn't figure out or didn't know a way to put another 12 minutes together.
Yep. By the way, this past week with the 2 game 7s that were lost at home, that never, ever, ever happened before. And that happened twice in 10 minutes. That's insane. I think that tells you how the game is different.
Yeah, the game is faster, more analytics. Back in the day, we would have figured out how to get the ball closer to the basket to get somebody in foul trouble.
Right.
Now these guys are running and setting up to hit the 3, which makes a lot of sense. But, we just, like I said, the training and how the style of basketball I played was entirely different. The plays were different. It was, we kept teams in Detroit under 85. If they didn't score 85, whoever had a ticket can go get half off of a pizza. Like, so we would say things like, let's get the audience a pizza tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
But the NBA didn't find that to be entertaining enough. They wanted more points.
Right.
Like in soccer, it's the great plays. You see the great plays to get one score. That's big.
Yep.
So it's a different thing. Everybody can bring the ball up. Everybody can shoot the ball. No one is saying no because they have a chance of getting it in like anyone else.
Yep. Okay. Let's go back to 86. You get drafted, but you get drafted 11th. And I know your expectations were a hell of a lot higher than that. What were your thoughts at the time? And we have a picture up here for you. You got the Pistons and the Bulls with 22, and then we're in 16 before Pau Gasol did with the Lakers.
Yeah.
I wore this on purpose. I don't know if you can see this here. Number 22, baby.
Deuces.
Yep. Now I'm sure you know why you didn't wear 22 with the Lakers.
Yes. But a funny thing, Ted.
Yes.
The day of the photo shoot, right? When you're going in.
Right.
One of the kids go, what number do you want, Sal? I said 22. And he hands me 22. And I go and I take a picture in it right away.
Oh, no, you serious?
And because I knew. I loved it.
So you got a picture with 22.
Yeah, they won't give it to me though. But
oh no, I thought you physically had it. Damn.
Yeah, so
that is awesome.
They were like, nah. I said, what's the other number? I said, well, my birthday is 16. And they go, wow, no one has ever worn number 16 on the Lakers. So I was the first.
Oh, great.
And Pau was the second, and it's now hanging up in the rafters. So
next time I see Pau, I'll tell him he stole your damn number. So what happened with the draft in 86 there? You're sitting around expecting a call. Now, I heard you said something about Red Auerbach told you previously that you should have been the number 1 pick out of Georgia Tech. And what the hell happened?
Yeah, well, a year before, they were asking people after draft what they thought about what was coming next.
Right.
And he picked me, Len Bias. And it was, he's an unbelievable chess player. So taking all the eyes off of, he doesn't know what number he's going to get. Right. He wound up getting the number 2 pick, which was crazy because the Celtics had just lost in the championship the year before.
So they
but he
traded in or something or what?
I don't remember how Red worked it out, but he, USA Today, all these people are coming and saying I'm the number one pick, and then I'm getting double teamed and triple teamed, and we only made it to the last 28. We didn't make it to the 16. So, this stock was falling. But let me tell you, since then, I've found out a thing called numerology, and the power number, very, very powerful number, is 11. Isaiah wears it. Yeah. So the blessing was I was number one twice.
Okay, I love it. I were number 11 in high school, so that's awesome.
Yeah, powerful number. So then wearing number 22 is just double the power number.
Got it. Talk about the journey of getting that first title with the Pistons, because they always used to say you got to get there and learn how to win, right?
Yeah.
And so and you guys went through that for a few years. You played unbelievable teams, some of the greatest teams in the history of the game, and you finally figured out a way to get there. What was that like?
One, you don't worry. It wasn't a lot of worry about being traded, right? So you get all the way down. You get all the way down, and they go, "Hey, next year, if we got all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals my first year in 87. So then you work really hard, and then you get over that hump, and we take the Lakers to Game 7.
Right.
And all we ever say is, what we need now is to win home court advantage, because they had more games at home we did. But it was always thinking of the nucleus of the team, or what we have is good enough.
Yeah.
And then they made this crazy trade of Adrian Dantley for Mark Aguirre, which, in hindsight was the perfect trade. More minutes.
Yep. Okay.
And we wasn't going to be able to do that and play the big with that situation. So I think the idea of a team or a great organization, knowing we have all the components, all we need is home court advantage, and that worked in our favor.
Yeah, and there it is, another great example. It meant everything to have home court then, and now it just doesn't seem to mean even close to what it did.
Yeah, well, I don't understand that. Let me tell you why. I don't either. So when you're playing at home, it's not the court.
Right.
It's the bed you sleep in. It's the routine you have.
Yeah.
It's the restaurant you're used to. It's more cheers than boos. It's a feeling of home, and you don't want anybody
a comfort level, right?
Yeah, you don't want anybody to break into your home.
Right.
So that should be the thought process. Like, I'm not letting these guys break into my home.
Right.
So when the Knicks ran out of gas, I don't. And the difference is, good or bad, people do whatever is necessary to get their body right. So whether it was shots, whether it was DMSO, whether it was get as many massages as you possibly can, sit in the hot and cold, the mentality should have been, my body is going to be in the best state to play. And it's another thing. They were talking about time down.
Yeah.
We were the second team to introduce the private jet. Utah did it for a second, but we were able to be home in the bed. We were able, once we left the game, we were able to get on a flight and be back in Detroit. So if the bus was at 10 o'clock or like 10:15 and the flight, we were half an hour from the airport, by the time we landed, we had better food on the plane than having to go inside and order chicken wings and French fries, which would give you no nutrition.
Exactly.
You don't run into a situation of drugs, babies outside of wedlock. You don't run into all of the distractions. And so we were able to rest differently. now with every team flying private, the time in between the game is different. We would fly into play a team the night before, the day before. It'd be a practice. You go to dinner, you hang out, you get up the next morning, you have a practice, win, lose, or draw. You go to sleep and you get up and you take a flight in the morning. So you had more days in between. But athletes are different now. The sneakers are made different. The mentality, knowing how to take care of your body, they don't have that.
Yeah. So you're the only guy in the world who could say, I played with Magic. Not Magic. I'm sorry.
Against.
I played with Mike. Against, yes. I played with Michael. That's my era, so I think of the same thing. And also with Kobe and Shaq and with Isaiah. I mean, that's just an unbelievable resume when you think about it, isn't it?
I always say I played with Isaiah, Adrian Dantley. I played with Michael and Joe and Scotty.
Oh, there you go. I love it.
And I played with Kobe and Shaq. So I played with 6 Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
They couldn't have done it without me, Ted.
Yeah. If it wasn't for number 22, baby, or number 16, it wasn't going to happen.
I joke them on that, but I love that I was able to do this with these guys, and I mean, I wouldn't want to be those dudes. I mean, the pressure you have is amazing. I mean, Shaq is the most dominant player in the world, and then they started frustrating him and hacking him.
Yeah.
I remember Kobe shooting 2 air balls. But I remember
in Utah.
But I remember him doing more unbelievable things than just missing 2. But those things made him unbelievably strong.
Yeah.
And I was able to sit there, and this is a deal. When you're in it, you don't really sometimes get it. But when you're in it, like when you're doing it, it's you're not watching it happen. You're a part of it happening.
You're making it happen too.
Making it happen. Do what you need to do. Do not be the weak link. Matter of fact, play better in the playoffs than you do in the regular season. I got accused of that, and which was the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. If you play like that all season long, I said, dude, I wish, but aren't you happy? It's more. I'm doing it when there's more on the line. So exactly. I see it that way with these cats.
All right, so give me a good, an unknown Chuck Daly and Phil Jackson story behind the scenes that to this day makes you laugh your ass off.
I don't know. I don't know if I told this one already, but check this. There was a situation. Chuck Daly loved to dress.
Oh yeah.
And he was I told this before, but he was one of the best.
Okay.
And we're playing in a big game, and guys are shooting around, and I'm stretching.
Yeah.
And Chuck walks, he's walking in with his new suit on and his beautiful tie and a handkerchief, and he walks over to me and he looks at me and he goes, "Look at my pant leg with the slit. That's so it can rest on the front of the shoe properly." And I said, "That was sweet." He goes, "Check out the socks. It goes with the handkerchief." He goes, "Oh shit. I'm killing them tonight." And he walks away. I go, and I named him Daddy Rich. He just was like, I love Daddy Rich.
Was he like a dad to you at all?
No.
Sometimes those guys become that.
No, I had a father. I'm good with my father.
That's good.
He was a great coach.
Yeah.
He got the most out of me. He told everybody, guaranteed on my tombstone, it's going to say 6 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 fouls, and 5 fouls. 5 fouls. And I would laugh. I said, well, at least you know what you're getting. He said, that's why I call you the X Factor. You put it in and it may explode. You put it in and may deaden it. So
I love it.
I love that. And then Phil just one day came into, when I was playing in Chicago, he came in beating that drum. And I was like, what is that? And he was beating this drum he got from the reservation he deals with
Right.
in South Dakota.
Yep.
And it was called the Warrior Drum.
Okay.
And he was beating that drum. And I know I'm not a big, evangelist, so but that beat of that drum got into my core.
Really?
It did. It just made you feel like, yeah, we were about to go to war. And he
Wow.
was like, this is the mentality, be in this war thought. And it was great. It was great to see him coming and beating that drum, everybody understanding it. We won 19 in a row. The crazy thing is he did the same thing in Los Angeles. We also won 19 in a row.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I in my book, Touching Greatness, I have a chapter, and Kobe's on the cover with me there. I have a chapter about the evolution of the Kobe and Shaq a combo, right? And how they went from an unbelievable duo to just pissing each other off every 5 seconds later after you were there. Did you see any of that coming at all in that first year? Or was it just, hey, we finally won a title and everything's great?
Yeah, I saw it coming because
Really?
Kobe was young. He was 20.
Yep.
He was taking a lot on. He was resemblance of Michael, and people were wanting him to be what they wanted him to be. I remember I asked Kobe one time, I said, so you're the next Michael Jordan? He said, I'm the first Kobe Bryant. And I was like, to even say it and know, like, he had his moves.
Yep.
He has his mentality. So just watching him turn into everything he knew he was going to be. And we got to give not all the credit, but most of the credit to Jerry West, who was going to take a 17-year-old kid.
Yep, absolutely.
Who out of high school, and Jerry knew it. Jerry said, this kid is the most different player I've ever seen. And he proved that right.
Yeah, so you played with him when he was about like 21 maybe or something like that?
No, he was still 20 when I was playing with him.
You're still 20, okay. Right.
Yeah.
So what did you see different from him in practice and in games that's like, wait a minute, this guy is way different than I ever thought, because you're seeing it every damn day.
I was on the Best Damn Sports Show period on Fox Sportsnet, which was a great show.
Yeah.
And I would tell these guys, hey, I play Kobe. I played Kobe one-on-one every day. And I beat him. And they were like, oh, man. And then we got Kobe to come on.
Oh,
and
okay.
He said, Kobe Sal sits here and says he played you one-on-one every day and he won.
Yes.
And Kobe was like, yeah, he beat me every day. And I was like, they were like, what? He was like, yeah, he's 7 foot tall. He says the game is to 5 and he gets the ball first because he's older. And he just backs me down and shoots hook shots.
I love it.
Until I realized I was never going to win because this is how it works. So I would spend as much time as he would allow me to be around that kid.
Right.
And he was different. I saw it right away. And I tell you, one time we're playing in Miami. He had just turned 21. Yep. So now he can go to the nightclub. And it's funny, my daughter just turned 21 and I tell her the same story.
Happy birthday to her.
Yeah. I said, hey man, we in Miami. I got this club. It's off the chain. And he was like, yeah, I'll go. I was like, you gonna go? Yeah. And so all of a sudden I get Kobe in, and all the other players like, Kobe's here? What the hell, Kobe?
Yeah, because usually he's in his room watching video or something, right?
Man, those girls looked and was like, Kobe Bryant. They all ran to the bathroom to freshen up, came back. And he's holding court. All the girls asked about Kobe. He like nods to me, and he's like, Sal, yeah, I gotta get back to the hotel. I said, wow, like, ooh, this is amazing.
That's different.
And he goes, yeah. I said, Kobe, it's only like 12 o'clock. He goes, yeah, I got to train at 6.
Oh, he's unbelievable.
His trainer had flown in, and
Really?
He got to get up and train at 6.
Oh, gotta be kidding.
We're playing against Miami, and we can beat them with our eyes closed. And I said, okay. And so I drive him back to the hotel.
Right.
leaving everybody. I mean, his commitment to his girl, leaving everybody there, and commitment to what he was there to do. He was there to work.
Yep.
The rest of us stayed out to 4, but
I'm
at
sure.
least.
Exactly.
But I drove him to the hotel, and then I drove him back, and right there. I was like, "This is a different brother,"
Yeah.
and
Big time.
yeah, you party when it's over, and you relax, and you do everything when it's all done. And it took him 20 years for it to be over.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's just slightly different than Dennis Rodman, just a little bit. So,
Yeah.
so give me a Rodman story that most wouldn't know
Dennis.
that you could tell.
I always say this. Then when we came to New York, he was
Right.
like, "I want to go to Bloomingdale's." I said,
Okay.
"What?" He goes, like you see, Bloomingdale's and Macy's, like you see during the parade. And I go, "Oh, I can take you down to Delancey Street and get all that stuff for like
Right.
25 cents on the dollar." He goes, "No, no, no.
Right.
I want to go there." So we go in there, and he buys some jeans, and he buys something else just to get the Bloomingdale bag,
Really?
just to get the Macy's bag. And I then understood subliminal seduction. I realized why tourists come in and spend all their money in that city, so they can say they bought something from there.
Right.
But he was like, his whole life of what was happening was only through that television. So when he got out to see it, he definitely experienced it. We went. I couldn't believe it. Like, that's what he wanted to do. My brother and I was like, "All right, here we go." But Dennis Rodman is one of my favorite people too. I love Dennis Rodman. We have a different relationship. I don't quite understand what it is, but I love him to death.
Yeah, I really enjoyed dealing with him when he came to the Lakers. He was just open. He was just a guy, and
Yeah,
there was no pretense. There's no bullshit, no nothing. It was like, hey, I am who I am. And that was great.
yeah. It
I
had to
wish
be
everybody was like that. Not everybody like Dennis, but I mean, that would be a crazy world.
Yes, the world is crazy, and there's
Yeah, it's
more
already
like
crazy
Dennis.
as it is. We don't.
There's more like Dennis than you know. Whatever vortex opened up to let people from his planet in,
Exactly.
was great.
Exactly. We only got a few minutes left. I want to talk about if the game now, the NBA now, if you were the commissioner, any thoughts on what you might do different? Because they got some issues, and it's a great league. It's an unbelievable game. But now the LeBron era is coming to an end, and who's going to be the real face of this league in small markets? They got to market this thing totally different, in my mind. What do you think?
I think the next person is Anthony Edwards.
Yes, but he's in Minnesota.
Yeah, and so Chicago was third largest thing, but the league has changed now with television and streaming and the way they have this well-oiled machine. And a new jersey. The jersey is popular, right?
Yeah, that's true.
First time they've been in the West Conference Finals since 2004.
Yeah.
Everybody thought Charles Barkley was crazy by saying, "I think Timberwolves are going to win the championship." Now people are starting to pay attention. So
That's true.
I think it's great for the NBA that small market teams are being seen. When I was in Detroit, we're a small market team. We had won the second championship. And I remember Chuck Daly talking about being in Europe. And there were Laker and Chicago and Boston jerseys. And there was no Piston jerseys to be purchased because the NBA had, constantly was trying to push, Michael and trying to push the NBA. So they went with the three well-known teams.
Right.
Now, all over Denver, jersey is happening. Dallas jersey is what. Milwaukee Bucks. I think the NBA did a wonderful job with the placement of European players on these different teams to bring notoriety to these teams. I think the face of the NBA should be Kyrie Irving, Joker, Jokic. I love what they did with Giannis. Antetokounmpo. So imagine they did such a great job that now everybody can say Antetokounmpo. So
Yeah, it's true.
it's at a point now the
It's a good point.
NBA is spreading out everything to the point. Golden State had to look for a while. San Antonio had it. Miami had it. Cleveland had it for a year. It's Knicks made a comeback.
Yeah.
Philadelphia was so close. It's really good on how the parity of the lead has become.
Yeah. My just biggest concern, we're going to find out in the next few weeks what the ratings are like when, because Anthony Edwards is great in the game, but outside the game, he's still a kid and people don't know him yet. So
Yeah.
what's that going to mean from a national standpoint? That's going to be fascinating to watch,
Well, that depends if he wants to improve.
True.
Not just his basketball game. I had speech therapy.
Yep.
I had I had speech therapy. I had to learn different way of speaking. Somebody pointed out when you go to these, one of the best things that guys could do, especially if they're smart,
yes.
is get a deal, since they know you're going to be the one talking after the game. You have to realize you have to go from warrior to civilian.
Yeah.
And what you wear. Like me, I would have a deal with, I don't know, Nike or somebody that every time I got on, you would see something Nike.
Exactly.
I would have a deal with some brand. So you can do that now and not be criticized totally or chastised, better put.
Right. Okay. Lightning round, load management. I can't stand it. I can't deal with it. It's like, I don't give a damn what era it is. That it ain't healthy for the game. Can you imagine taking your kids, it costing $500 minimum to watch a game and your favorite players aren't even there? I mean, that would drive me nuts.
Yeah. When guys back in the day, when it wasn't about load management. It was like, we need you to play so we can win.
Exactly.
But you just have to understand, it works, and it works for some. And I'm like MJ. I wanted to play every game. I don't want to miss a game. When I was on the Lakers and I wasn't playing, I didn't like it.
I bet.
But I was, I knew my role.
Right.
And he was like, I'm gonna play you every 5 games. So I would stay in shape, talk to the young fellas, be the best veteran I can possibly be. And when it's time to go out there, do what you're supposed to do. Play hard, be in shape. But these guys, like I said, the nutrition.
Yeah.
You could drink all the orange stuff you want and purple stuff and blue stuff. I'm not going to say the name of the company because
I gotcha.
And you can go to McDonald's, and I shouldn't say, you can go to a burger joint, and you can go to a steakhouse, and you can do all of that. But if you want the human body to respond and get the nutrients, it's fruit, vegetables, seeds, herbs, and water with sea salt in it. If you're not nourishing the muscle, you're not dealing with the receptors. If you're not massaging the muscle, if you're not feeding the muscle, stretching the muscle, the body is going to break down. Yep. And so many of these guys break down, especially in their low. And the reason you got all these lower pains, these Achilles, these ankles, is the pressure that they're carrying on their shoulder.
Yeah.
They don't know how to let the body get in, because the mind does it all. But I would not let anybody mess with my record of games played. If somebody explains to these guys, the more games you play, the more points you get, the more rebounds, the more block shots, the more
what
wins.
A coincidence.
The more championships.
Exactly.
Right? Those are important things. Right now, guys are like, well, I'm going to rest this game. You rest, the game is only 2 hours. You got the day before and the day after. If you got hurt and you hit the ground and get up and you're limping, Chuck Daly would say, put some spit on it. That works. Put some spit on it, and let's go. Like mind over matter.
Right. God, I could spend 3 hours with you, but you could not spend 3 hours with me because you'd be bored out of your mind. I really appreciate the time. What are you selling now? Give me something good besides. Thanks for the food motto there, because that's very important.
I got a new bean burger at Hollywood Burger. So everybody
Okay.
out in California, it's on.
Okay.
It's right across from Pantages on Hollywood Boulevard and
Oh, I used to
Vine.
work right behind there.
Yep, right next to the W Hotel.
Yep.
You go check out Hollywood Burger
Okay. And then
and get your vegan burger.
okay.
If you're going with a flesh eater, we understand.
Okay.
But you can get a bean burger in your lettuce wrap. Get some tater tots. We got the sauces are vegan. The 60 vegan restaurants closed in the past year. I had 3 of them.
Really?
In the past 5 years, I was involved with 3 different vegan restaurants, but it's
Wow.
hard to stay afloat, especially after pandemic. So I
Exactly.
went in with these guys since I realized they were doing so well. Hey, put this up, and then in a month or so, I'm gonna say, hey, I got some vegan chicken. Since you're doing chicken now, put this in,
Right.
and
Right.
so I can eat at all of these places and not be shut down and not feel let down. And I had some vegan people say, yeah, but it's a burger joint. They serving animals in there. And I go, you get on the bus, you get on the plane, you drive your car, you live in an apartment building, you're in a house, you're next to people who eat meat. We're not going to be totally separate. So
Right.
we have to figure out how to infiltrate and then change the mentality after.
Yeah, you
So
got a quick favorite place, vegan place in the Valley, San Fernando Valley.
oh yeah, Vin Lao. It's
Where's that
on
at?
Ving Lao, VINHLOI. It's on Sherman Way, in between Reseda and Wilbur.
Is that Thai?
It's Vietnamese,
Vietnamese. Okay.
but it's unbelievable. Kevin is the man in there. He doesn't even let you order. You sit down, he looks at you, he talks to you, he brings you food. It's the best thing in the world.
Really awesome. Okay, that's great.
And then you can go to Follow Your Heart too, which is on Sherman Way, just east of Topanga. Sherman Way.
Okay.
It's the entire store is vegan. It's been there for 35 years.
Okay, real quick, you got to tell us about your movie. Now, you were in Bad Boys 1 and 2, not 3. We'll get into that hopefully another time. I'm pissed off just the thought of that. But now you're in number 4. So what the hell? How's that going?
It's I bet I was at the table read. I'm going to tell you.
Yep.
Will after the slap,
Yes.
Will Smith is in a whole different place.
Is he recovered?
Well, yes, because what happened, I guess, like Denzel said, the devil shows up in the craziest places.
Right.
But Will is so funny. Martin is funny. The script was really. I love the 2 young directors that Jerry Bruckheimer found. But this was a funny movie, and it's a lot of action. So we shot the majority of it before the strike, and then after the strike, they had to shoot some more of it. Friend of mine who used to be my manager, Kevin Parker, said he saw it. Jerry Bruckheimer was showing, and it was like, "Yo, that's a hit." And I was like, "I know." When I was shooting it, I was like, "Yo, this is bomb." So beautiful. June 7th, everyone go check out Bad Boys 4. It is the 4th installment of a great franchise. Ted, you got to go check it.
And how long are you in this thing for? Are they going to give you? They're not cutting you out too much, right?
No, they gave me more minutes, which I love. More minutes,
okay.
Yes.
Because I know you insisted for more after 0 minutes in number 3.
I just, I like that, a script is a living thing, so they started adding to it.
I love it.
It's great.
Hey man, great to see you. I really appreciate it. I'd love to continue this another time soon, and maybe after the finals we can hash that over.
Right. Call Sandra. She'll hook it up.
You got it, man. All the best. Drive safely, and we'll talk soon. All right.
Peace.
All right, you too. Take care, and hang on a quick second before we end this, baby. Thanks for watching, everybody.